10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good afternoon and welcome. This is Dr. Surajit Khanna's returning youth radio and streaming video show. You can see us live on returning at facebook.com/Khanna, the number 4 kids. That's KHANNA, the number 4 kids. See our wonderful faces live and please join us and like us there. We are live every Friday at 3 o'clock from 3 to 4 o'clock. And we'd love to see you there. Share this with your friends and comment. Dr. Khanna is an attorney, a child safety advocate, and a servant of the underserved, champion of the nonprofit organization Voice of the Kids. He also recently launched his post-incarceration Juvenile Justice Reformation Act initiative. And we call this in short, Returning Youth at returningyouth.com, returningyouth.com. Please visit that website and please feel free to donate for this wonderful cause because Dr. Khanna saw that the Reformation Act did not adequately care for ex-offenders and decided that he would address this with his returningyouth.com campaign, where we are returning underserved post-incarcerated young adults back to a productive life. How? By providing them housing, training, along with the required medical, psychological assistance needed to secure a job and to build their careers and greatly improve their lives. Today, Dr. Khanna is traveling. Unfortunately, he's unable to be with us today. But walking to the gate, he took a break right in the airport and prepared a little video for us. I'm going to play it now. The audio quality is not great, but please bear with us. And we're going to hear from Dr. Khanna right now.
Good afternoon, everyone, and good afternoon, the audience. Sorry, I'm traveling today. I'm recording this message for all of you from the airport. Please excuse me for the sound in the back. But I would like to thank all of you, those who are listening to this show and those who are participating. A special thanks goes to today's guest, Ms. Tafia. I was excited to read your profile. I'm very thrilled that you are in the show today and supporting this initiative. It means a lot to me and the team. And thank you, Mr. Edward Sargent, Sharon Drake, anybody, those who are present today. We have been doing wonderful this Idaho, and we've been in Montana. I was visiting many places in Montana. Gary is going to give all the updates, and he can show some pictures. This initiative, very first time started giving out food bags to the post-incarcerated homeless in Missoula, Montana, with the help of the county manager, Miss Kerry Anderson and Valley Anderson. So everything is going very well. Thank you for all of your support. Still, this March Madness is going on. We are going to 50 states in 60 days. Gary has the count. We are moving forward. So again, thank you very much, all of you. Sorry, I had to keep it short. And sorry that I cannot join all of you live, but I had to catch a flight. Thank you very much for allowing me to talk every Friday. Friday is very important day for all of us. And Gary, thank you very much for hosting this and making this show valuable. I know a lot of people now in the United States are listening and looking forward to this show. And thank you, Angelica. She is the co-host, and I really appreciate her enthusiasm and cooperation for this particular show. Thank you again. Have a blessed day. Bye. Good afternoon.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Khanna. We appreciate him being there. And we're going to get right into our segment of the show because one of our most fantastic guests has a short time frame. I just want to welcome, we have Clem Yaboa, Angelica Robinson, Sharon Drake, Edward Sargent, and I just want to hand it over to Angelica at this point.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks so much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the show. And thank you, all of our special guests. We want to especially extend a warm welcome to our special guest, Howard University alum and fierce attorney. Yes, HU. Fierce attorney, Natichi Taifa. Thank you so much for coming and being on the show, Natichi.
I'm really so very thrilled to be with you all today, Angelica and Gary, all the rest of you all, and to actually hear from the actual mover and shaker of the show, Dr. Khanna. And, I'm just really very, very impressed with the initiative, the Returning Youth initiative that this show is all about. So I'm glad to join you.
Well, we won't delay. We want to get right into it. So please tell us a little bit about the work that you've been doing.
Well, actually, the work that I've been doing stretches back a long time. I mean, I remember being like 7, 8, 9 months pregnant, walking the halls of Congress, fighting against the provisions of what ultimately became the Crime Bill of 1994, which featured the largest expansion of the federal death penalty in modern times. It featured the gutting of habeas corpus, the evisceration of the exclusionary rule, the trying of 13-year-olds as adults. It featured the cutting out of Pell educational grants for youth, and it really ushered in the whole era of mass incarceration, which we're trying to dig ourselves out of right here, right now. And you might ask, well, what does that have to do with youth? What does that have to do with reentry? Well, since that time, one of the things that I worked very assiduously on was what ultimately became known as the Second Chance Act of 2008, which was the Second Chance Reentry Bill. I worked on the 2010 bill, which was called the Fair Sentencing Act, which reduced the disparity between crack and powder cocaine. And now with Supreme Court rulings like Miller and the like, youth who were sentenced as adults, part of that crime bill of 1994, the trying of 13-year-olds as adults. Well, that Supreme Court ruling basically said you can't do that anymore.
That's
It's cruel and unusual punishment, right, Gary?
yes,
And
yes.
some of these youth who were sentenced way back then, okay, are just now beginning to come out of prison. They're grown people.
We
They're
had
like
one.
in their 40s.
The gentleman in Pennsylvania was in for what, 65 years. He went in at 15 years old, something like that.
Absolutely. Yes. And what type of environment are people like him coming out to? What type of resources, Angelica? What type of services, Eddie, Sharon, are out there for our youth who are coming back, who are now grown?
Can I,
And institutionalized.
Gary, can you pull up, do you mind sharing what I sent to you, Gary? The quote about love?
I didn't see that, Eddie. I'll give me a few minutes. Go ahead.
So
Okay,
yeah, it's all about love. We got to have love for our youth, for our children. These are our children.
Yeah, but what do you mean by love? Give me an example of the kind of love. What is love?
I mean, we're talking about more than hugs and kisses and all like that. We're talking about doing what is fundamentally necessary for humanity. To me, that's what love is. For humanity, it's inhumane to lock up our youth like that. It's inhumane to deny them of all of the things that we get the benefit of. Sure, they made mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, but they serve time for those mistakes. And sometimes it needs to be forgiveness. That's what love is about. Sometimes it needs to be redemption. That's what love is about. Sometimes it needs to be second chances. That's what love is all about, in my humble opinion. You tell me what you mean, what you think about love, Eddie.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I read to you. I wish, Gary, may I share my screen? Gary.
Yes, go ahead.
Very good. Let me show y'all something. It speaks for itself. I'm going to drag it over. Bear with me. Let me do this. Okay. Now, what do we have here? Can you all see the screen? You see the screen, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We see it, Eddie.
Okay, then there it is. I'll read it. Rejected children usually are the ones who become criminals. So, if we are to fight crime, we have to start at home. The only way to fight it is with love. Discipline. What is love? There it is. It's broken down right here. Discipline. You know, when men come out of prison, I don't care who you are, what you've done, what you haven't done. Men want boundaries. They want to be treated like men. Don't coddle these people. They know who they are. They know what they've been through. They don't want to hear your sympathy. Let them know, look, you out. Here's where you can fit in. I'm here to help you, but I'm not going to baby you. Okay, that's a crutch. And my screen went away. So what happened? You took it back?
That's all right. Yeah, I took it back because I wanted to. I just wanted to get your face talking with your emotion.
Oh, okay. You want to see my face?
Yeah.
You want to see my face? Okay. So I lost track, bro. Let me just finish this. Okay. Let me finish this. This is my face here.
You finished
This
with
is my face. I
discipline.
want you all to see this. I'll make it clear. Okay, love, discipline, direction, food, clothing, advice. All that's love. And where did that come from? That came from an article actually that was done years ago by yours truly, by the way. And I was surprised to find it in the Congressional Record. And here's the Honorable Walter Fauntleroy. He stood with Dr. Martin Luther King. He became a representative for the District of Columbia. And the young lady I was writing about was Jenny Bailey. That woman right there, that amazing woman, she was winning an award for the Parent of the Year. And when I got to the end of that story, this is my story, of course, but I haven't read it in a long time. I don't even remember really writing this story, but I found it out of the annals of the Congress. And I read this quote and it just blew me away. So I just want to share that with you, that love is, we all know love is an action word, but sometimes when we speak about it, it's in a soft way. And I'd like for us to get really far away from thinking love is some kind of soft thing, hugs and kisses. No, love is sacrifice. We got to bleed and sweat for these people. That's all I got to say.
And that's what it's about. It's about doing the actual work. Love is an action word, and it is about doing the work. And so I really want to hear more from Natichi about the amazing work that she has been advocating for and that she has been a part of, and the different acts that you have done to really move this discussion and this topic forward about our youth and the needs that they have and the needs that these young people have when they do get out of the prison system and they are coming back into society. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, so one of the things I'm finding out is that a number of folk who are returning, particularly who went in as very young children, as juveniles, as teenagers, are coming out as advocates. Okay, they're coming out wanting to give back. They're coming out as leaders and leading the way. They're coming back as a part of organizations that are on the front lines, whether it's a Corrections Information Council, of which I serve on the board of, whether it's Campaign for the Fair Sentencing of Youth. I mean, they are making things happen, and they're doing it using their own personal experiences, their own personal, they've been through it. Okay, so it's not a textbook type of a situation. They're making sure that those who come behind them don't make the same types of mistakes that they are making. But there has to be a two-way street. There has to be those of us who have been on the outside all of these years, all of these decades, reaching back and helping and assisting them as much as we can. That's where I see Dr. Khanna's Returning Youth program and initiatives fitting right into that, providing that guidance, providing that caring, providing that love that Eddie spoke about. To
and the discipline that he spoke about, with giving them tools to learn how to do laundry and just basic
basic
skills.
Stuff. Yeah, sure, exactly. But excuse me, Taifa, Angelica, are you going to talk to her about her upcoming keynote address at Jessup, Maryland?
Yeah, we're going to get to that.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I've had the opportunity to meet some of these young people who are now middle-aged adults, personally, and I've been very inspired by them and by their example. Luckily, there are more resources out there to help and assist folk. They're helping with respect to legislative initiatives. I know DC recently passed a law. Other jurisdictions are looking at it the same, because no youth should have to spend life without parole behind bars. Cruel and unusual punishment.
Absolutely agreed. Absolutely agreed. And if they're and if they do get out on parole and they're coming into society, many of them do not actually have their rights completely restored, because technically when you're on parole you are still serving your prison sentence. And so rights like voting, in fact, are, and contributing to society, those things are still stripped away from you even when you are not behind those bars and you have re-entered into society.
And you know
So
what's interesting, Angelica? Many of them never voted before they went into prison because they weren't old enough. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And so now they're coming out and they're faced with this crazy quilt of laws in different jurisdictions about what they can do and what they cannot do with respect to voting, and the like. So it's just one obstacle after another piled on top of them that they have to, be able to surmount.
yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. And since we are talking about the prison system and those that are incarcerated, and as Edward brought up, I mean, you are doing some really great work over in the DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia area. If you could speak to what you're doing over at Jessup, that would be amazing.
Well, actually, up until now, I've really just been corresponding with a couple of the prisoners there. But I was recently asked to be the graduation speaker at Jessup's program, the program that they have in collaboration with Georgetown University Law School, which teaches a legal writing course there. And a number of the students will be graduating. I'm quite honored. Oh, I'm real so very honored that I was asked to be the graduation speaker and to give just a few words of inspiration. Many of them are jailhouse lawyers themselves. And I'll say this, I'm a lawyer. I've been a lawyer for, I'm not even going to say how many years. But one of the things I found in terms of the brothers and sisters inside, sometimes they know more law than I know because they in those books. I mean, they have a vested interest. They have skin in the game.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a wonderful experience. They all went through a legal writing and research program that was connected with Georgetown. And I'm just grateful to be able to next week impart just a few words of wisdom, a few words of inspiration to them. Hopefully, some of them will be coming out, soon. And that's the advocacy that is so very essential that we do out here on the outside.
And speaking of words, I heard that you have a book that just came out or is coming out. Can you talk about that a bit?
Yes, it came out several months ago. The book is called Black Power, Black Lawyer, My Audacious Quest for Justice. It's a memoir. It's a memoir about my life. I came up during what I call the Black Power era, shortly after the Civil Rights era. And I was influenced with respect to a lot of those movements during that time, the Black Studies in the School movement, the Black Power movement, the anti-apartheid movement. And then as I became a lawyer and all the movement against mass incarceration, the reparations movement, the movement against mass incarceration, all of these movements had a very critical impact on my life and has been the inspiration that's motivated me to continue on and do all the things that I do. And one of the things I really hope to do is connect the dots between those movements of yesterday and what's going on right now, right here, in the streets and in the advocacy world today. So thank you for that.
Along those lines, Kicha, we would love to have a conversation with you and Angelica and Clem and myself and perhaps even Dr. Khanna. We see there's a lot of synergies between us. We'd like to just explore ways that we can continue to work together.
It will be my pleasure. Hopefully I'll be invited back at some point in the future.
You have an open invitation, I told you. Open invitation.
Open invitation. And you mentioned inspiration. Do you want to just leave us with any inspiring words? We know that you've got some other things you got to jump to, and we've got more guests we want to get to. So any last words of inspiration that you want to leave with the folks and with us here?
I will leave you with my most favorite quote. It was a quote from 1857, none other than the great abolitionist orator Frederick Douglass. He said, "If there is no struggle, there is no progress. Those who profess to favor freedom yet depreciate agitation are those who want the crops without plowing up the ground. They want the ocean without the mighty roar of its waters. They want the rain without the thunder and the lightning." And he said back then, and it still rings true today, he said, "Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it never will." And that's what you all are doing right now. You all are making that power concede. You all are making those critical and necessary demands, and you all are pushing the movements further. Thank you very much.
We are so honored and
Can we
blessed to have
can I get a can I get a Wakanda from you before you go?
Ah, I love it.
All right.
another Howard alum. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Another Howard alum. HU is in the building hard tonight. Hey.
Look at
Okay,
y'all.
I have to hop off. Thank you so much.
We'll
Thank
be in touch. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Peace.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Well,
And Gary, we have more guests. I'll let you introduce our next guest.
Yes, my next guest is me. So, well, no, we don't really have another guest. I'm sorry, Angelica. We have regulars with us, Edward and Sharon, but I do have a couple of things I needed to get to that I didn't in the beginning, and I wanted to I just wanted to get a chance to do. Yes, Sharon is kind of a regular. She's with Edward, Angelica. So I wanted to at least get back with myself and Clem. We wanted to give a little bit of an update of where we're at. And Clem, I know you've been very quiet. I want to give you the chance to talk and just give us an update on anything that you know what's going on.
No, just go ahead with the updates. And I wanted to talk to, I wanted to hear Sharon talk first. I've missed hearing her voice for a long time.
Sharon, let's hear from you. Sharon, you're on mute. Sharon, you're.
Now I'm. Can you hear me?
Yes. Oh yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. Well, it's good to be back. I'm not going to talk long because my voice is I'm still dealing with all of this stuff. But it's good to be back, and I'm excited about all of the things that are going on. Even though you haven't seen me on camera, I didn't go very far. I was always listening and watching what was going on. You just didn't see me because I look better than I feel. Not that I look great, but anyway, it's good to be back. And
you look
Angelica,
beautiful.
I'm so glad to see you, HU, and I was really excited last week when I was tuning in, even though you didn't know I was tuning in. Gary knew I was tuning in.
I appreciate it.
Gary knows everything. He's just not there. But I haven't been very far, Cliff. You just haven't seen me or heard me. But
well, just always let us see you.
Sidelines.
Remember, we say you are the mama of this initiative. So, when we don't see you, we don't feel good. All right.
Yes.
Exciting things.
And in all honesty, there's a lot of things that Sharon is doing for us on the background where we're formalizing our relationship with her and Edward. So just like we did with you, Angelica, we have a phenomenal team here with Clem, of course, and Dr. Khanna. We're missing Raphael today. I guess he was busy. I was hoping he was joining. He's going to be reaching out to the Latinx community. And Clem, I wanted to let you know, and everybody else know, I am in contact with officer in Zuma, her name is, in Westchester County. She is the president of the Hispanic Officers Organization in that county. I think we're close to getting her on as a guest next week, and I would definitely want Raphael to take the lead in talking about the Hispanic community and what we can do with that organization there. Because in all honesty, what we've been doing, Clem, as you know, for the past year is talking about the African-American community, which is great. And that's what we've want to reach out to. But many times people just say right off the bat, well, what about the Hispanics? You can't ignore them. Well, we're not. And we have a gentleman who has a national organization called ATAX, who's taken that and is joining us. He's going to be heading that campaign. So next week it'll be interesting. I'd like to just give an update on a number of different things. Maybe I can't show it on screen at the same time I'm talking, but I really want to emphasize this 50 states in 60 days. We are up to 8 states, and what we're looking for is a volunteer in every state. Eventually, we are committed to going all 3,142 counties in the country. And both Dr. Khanna and Clem and myself got that number memorized, 3,142 counties. We're coming to your county. But if you have a friend or a connection, not in the state we're in, because we're in 8 states now: New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Montana, Illinois, California, and let me think. Montana, and last but not least, Idaho. We just turned on Idaho yesterday. Dr. Khan and I had a conference call with the director of prisons for Idaho. It's very interesting. The governor of Idaho forwarded us to him. And it was amazing because he joined the phone call, says, well, the governor asked me to meet you, Dr. Connor, and I'm here. So we had a great phone call. It was very exciting that the word is getting out at that level. So those are the 8 states we're at. We're looking for someone, let's say, to be a volunteer. And that volunteer will do things like connect to the community. It could be part-time, connect with the law enforcement, connect with the DVR, the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation. Every state calls it differently. New York calls it Access VR. Every OCR, it's called OCR in Pennsylvania, but every county has one of these, and they connect with those people coming out of incarceration and gives them ways to have a job. So we want to connect to those people. The county manager is going to have really 2 things he or she will deal with. Number one, we're going to get an office close to the county courthouse. The reason we want to be there because we want to get close to the post-incarcerated youth, to politicians, to law enforcement. So, and we're going to have a hangout place there, so that these young kids or even those who've aged out could come in, maybe play some video games, talk to us. We'll have training seminars there. And the purpose for this is to draw these young people in, to get them signed up for our program. And once they're signed up for our program, the second place we're going to do is the county manager will help us find a property that will house 5 to 10 post-incarcerated youth right within the county. So then we will place those people in the post-incarcerated youth facility. Let's call it the returning youth facility right for now. And we're going to get them there and get them training and get them everything else. Clem, I know I'm talking too long here. Clem, please supplement what I'm talking about.
Wait, before Clem comes on, could you tell us what is that website that folks can go to donate, Gary?
She's so good, isn't she? She's the best. Oh my goodness, Angelica, I love you. Returningyouth.com. She keeps me honest. What would I do without her? Returningyouth.com. Hey, please donate. This is a worthy cause. Go there. You can click on donate a cause. We need your help. We have very, very exciting plans. The bottom line is the recidivism rate, the rearrest rate in this country has been the same for 60 years, about 55%. But last year it changed because of COVID. Guess what? It went up another 20%. It's like in 70, 75%. Within 12 months, these people are rearrested. So please help us, returningyouth.com. Thank you, Angelica. Clem, it's all yours.
Well, there are a lot of things happening. And one of the greatest things that I see is that this new administration is keyed into helping the minority communities. Now, some of the ways we want to see this happen, and for us, it's some kind of a reparation. We want to see the monies being spent in the right areas, the right sectors of the economy, sectors where uh, these returning youth can be part of, and that is, small businesses. Okay, when the government is ready to support through this 1.3 billion trillion, you know, new monies, these monies are going into these communities. The point is, when we can channel some of these monies or these business development to help this type of this part of the population, then we are ensuring that the wealth is coming in and is staying in. The wealth, the wealth doesn't come in by a simple paycheck. It comes in because the sector is being developed and the people are being given opportunities in the sector. What this project does is seek to literally leverage opportunities that are going to happen in this sector. When we set up the home and we put 5 to 10 people in the home, we're going to teach them life skills. Okay, how to cook, how to do the laundry, the stuff they never did before they went to jail. Now they are out. They have to learn life all over again. We're going to be there to hold their hands so that they learn life all over again. But they are not going to be our proteges forever. We have to let them loose. We have to let them fly. The only way they can soar will be that they have on their own energy, using the avenues of um, career sectors that they can do well in. We're going to set up florist shops, teach them how to work as florists. We're going to set up tax preparation shops. We're going to set up CDL, commercial driver license shops. We're going to set up beauty spas. Now, Angelica, you're not invited. We're going to set up beauty spas.
She can.
And the idea is teach them how to do it, give them the opportunity to own it. It's not just working for somebody. Now, once they become business owners, their focus is now on the business, not on their past lives. We're not allowing their past lives to define them. We are allowing them to see that they have a piece of the pie. This new pie that is coming up, they have a piece of it. So that's our thought process. That's our strategy. And we're always open for new ideas, new business sectors that we can develop into different ways. But along the way, we'll provide them financing. They want to own a truck. We facilitate their owning the truck. We facilitate their own getting the load to be delivered. Go across country and do it. We do this, hold their hands for a number of years, make sure that they are now firmly established. Now, they become peer counselors. Like what Nkechi Taifa had said, they become peer counselors because they're going to be the people that the young ones are going to look up to. So, well, he did this. He made a mistake. He did something. But now he's back. He's doing something different. This is a more positive thing. Let us ask him what and how we can also do the same thing he's doing now. It's not what he did before.
And that's exactly what it's about, trying to find ways, new ways, creative ways to do things differently and better, and to continue to cultivate how we can change with the times. The world is always and ever changing, right? And we all have to continue to grow and to elevate and change with the world so that we can help these young people that are coming out and coming back into society and reestablishing themselves within society. And a lot has changed in the last 5 years, you know, just with us, we've seen how all kinds of things with Black Lives Matter and the police brutality movement has changed in the last 5 years. We've seen how technology has changed in the last 10 years. And so giving folks the resources and tools to encourage them and to activate those change and encourage them to continue to grow within society, that is a beautiful and wonderful thing. Thank you so much, Clem. And I just wanted to, I heard a whisper. Edward, are you going to be leaving us soon? Do you want to give us some few words? Anything that Clem just said that you want to comment on, or give us some words before you head out?
It just hit me. I was going to be selfish and talk about my birthday, but Clem, one thing I guess we could do with returning youth is celebrate and have a birthday party. Have a party for guys and ladies, whoever you are, Latinx or whatever. Come on to a place we can provide for them, and have corporations spend money to support that and give scholarships and things of this nature. Something that you could even have every month, because every month somebody has a baby. And if you don't have a birthday, not a baby. Every month somebody has a birthday. And if you find a month that nobody has a birthday, then celebrate my birthday, because I can celebrate my birthday anytime. But my birthday is April 11th, one of the most unique days of the year. 411, 411 is, everybody knows, for information.
Oh my goodness,
all
look
my
at
life.
that. Mr.
I feel
Information.
real good about this birthday. I'm going to the beach, and I'll be unplugged. I won't be here next week. I won't be here the other week. I'm totally unplugging. It's been great hanging with you guys. I'm so honored. I have so much respect for all of you. And I just thank you very much, Sharon Drake, for bringing me into this collective. See you later.
Everett, from now on, we're going to call you Mr. Information. That's it. Mr. 411. That's it. That's your
Mr.
name.
411. I like that.
I love that. I mean, I'm an April baby too. And Mr. Information, I'll take it. That is awesome. That is
I knew there was something I liked about you.
Yes.
You guys are great. Y'all take care. Have fun. How about that?
Thank you. And Edward just spoke about something that was exceptional, which is about self-care and unplugging. And that is so, so, so important, especially right now, and especially with today's society and the temperature and what is going on. And Clem, I just want to just go back to you for a moment, because with a lot of people who do re-enter society, when they are leaving, when they get out of incarceration and they are re-entering society, one of the best things that they can do is be entrepreneurs and start their own businesses and franchises. And you spoke about businesses and franchises and needing those SBA loans and getting those dollars and all of that good jazz. And so if you could, and of course, being an entrepreneur, you also need time when you're building a business. You also need to take time to be careful to take care of yourself and to have self-care, as Sharon was talking about when she first came on. It is so important to have that balance of being able to be a business owner and also be able to take care of your own mental health and physical health and all of that. If you could talk to us about a little bit more about starting businesses and franchises and speak to that, Clem, I would love to hear from you.
Well, one of the things that is critical about starting a business is focus. Okay, you have to understand that you are selecting a particular business in a particular industry. Now, it is also true that it's not your first venture that works out for you. Not always. Half the time, your first venture will fail. Okay, maybe you do 4 times, 5 times before you finally end up with something. Now, that's where the concept of franchising comes in. In the line of franchising, it's something that has been tested. A brand that has been tested, and you are not in there alone. You are not figuring it out by yourself. You're not reinventing the wheel. The methodology for that particular brand has been, there's always a model that the franchise is modeled after. That methodology has already proven And so when we bring them in and we put them into a business enterprise that's part of a franchise, they will have the support structure that a franchise provides. A franchise will normally give you training. It will normally do the build out for you. It will have a show you ideas about where you can market, how you need to conduct yourself, what and even provide you leads. So a franchise does a lot to promote your success. Now, half of these youth, whatever they did before they went in, they already have certain skills. They have a survivor skills. They have a entrepreneurial skills. If someone is standing at the corner selling a bag of weed, that person is an entrepreneur. We just have to take that person and put him in a positive position where his entrepreneurial skills will be used right. And the franchising will provide him the support to make sure that he's successful.
You know, Jay-Z said it best. I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. Because I mean, he takes that exact same corner boy model of being a street drug dealer and incorporating that into actually being a legitimate business owner, and then multiplying on that,
Right.
creating multiple business streams and revenues for himself, for his family, creating a legacy that is, you know, he's now down as one of, you know, the greatest that has ever done it in the world. So, you know, it's really taking that entrepreneurial spirit and having the focus that you mentioned at the top of this,
Right.
and having that also goes back to the discipline that
Right.
that Nikichi and that Eddie were talking about at the very beginning of the hour, when we were talking about the discipline, when we talk about love. And so that it all connects, it all correlates together. Sharon, I would love to hear your thoughts on this too, on entrepreneurship and franchising. What are your thoughts, Sharon?
Well, I guess I can speak from my experience having represented franchise owners in another life when I was in Washington representing McDonald's franchise owners. And it worked. Well, everybody knows that McDonald's is, you know, it works as far as franchises. And Clem was talking about what they were doing at that time. They were building the African American market. I represented African American and Hispanic franchise owners in the DMV, and they were turning over a lot of the corporate stores at that time, and recruiting business owners from across the nation to relocate to the Washington, Baltimore area to take over the corporate stores. And one of the things, I think we talked about this, Gary, making deposits in the trust bank. And that's something that stuck with me throughout my career. And this was 30 years ago when I represented McDonald's as their PR person in the DMV. We were so successful in the Washington area. And when I would go to the corporate communications conferences in Chicago every year, all of my colleagues from across the nation, they would say, how do we read about things, or we hear about what's going on in Washington? We turn on, you know, the morning news, and they're talking about programs that you all are doing in DC on the Today Show or on Good Morning America, because, you know, the Washington media was basically national news. And I know this wasn't your question, but I'm getting to your question. And the concept was we were making deposits in the trust bank. We were building trust in the community, in Washington, in Baltimore, all around the Washington regional area for these new business owners, because they were coming from other parts of the country and they were coming into a market that they were not familiar with, but people were familiar with the Golden Arches. So we were doing community relations and we were sponsoring Little League teams and we were working with the school system and we were sponsoring scholarship programs with the school system. And we were doing all kinds of goodwill and making deposits in the trust bank. So when we needed the community to stand up and support something, we already had the support of the community. And when we would do an event with the Ronald McDonald Show, in, Southeast Washington or in Frederick, Maryland, the media would show up because it was something good for the community. And what happened in Washington, D.C. was picked up by, the Today Show because we were basically a national market. So when I would go to a communications conference and they were showing what happened in Washington or in Frederick, Maryland, or in one of the markets that I represented, they will always say, why are you always getting press and you're on the national morning television shows? Why are you always in the news? And I said, well, because we were making deposits in the trust bank and what happened in DC, and it just always ended up being national news. So I know that is a long answer to your question, but it's building trust in the communities and working with the community. So what we're doing here, Gary and Clem and Dr. Khanna, going into the communities, what they did in Montana, feeding the homeless and building the trust in those communities, it works. You're making deposits. The return on the investment, is priceless, and you will see that because people will know that you're there and you've been there, and they will reciprocate, and it's priceless. So
Thank you.
And it
Anyway.
is all connected. I mean, it builds those deposits. That builds wealth. Generates wealth within a community, and with the scholarships programs in effect as well. You're educating communities, and then that entire community is being uplifted. Even with youth that are returning, and those that choose the entrepreneurial route. I mean, entrepreneurs are nothing without the community that surrounds them. They need those communities to build their businesses. So all of that is connected. And thank you so much for sharing that, Sharon. That was excellent. That was everything.
Everything. I wanted to also mention, thank you, Sharon, and thank you, Angelica and Clem. I wanted to close on this issue. If you know anybody that's not in those 8 states, be willing to volunteer. This is a great cause. We have volunteers on the phone here to be a county manager. It doesn't matter what county. We have to be in 50 states in 60 days. We would greatly appreciate your help. And if anybody out there listening likes what we're talking about, please contact us at contactk.com, or you can call us at 302-746-2311. That's 302-746-2311. And if you want, I'm going to give you my cell phone number. You can even call me at 914-893-5060. We want volunteers for all 50 states. Hey, I'm waiting on Hawaii and Alaska. So if you've got friends there, have them contact me. There's not a lot that we need initially, just volunteer part-time. So please reach out to us, and also go to returningyouth.com, and if you can, donate or share. And please go to our Facebook link. Please subscribe to our Facebook. We don't have a unique name because you have to get 100 subscribers before you can claim a name. So
that's YouTube. That's YouTube, Gary.
YouTube.
We're on YouTube at Khanna for Kids. We're on Facebook at Khanna for Kids. We're also on Instagram at Khanna for Kids. So we can go to any of those. We are on all platforms.
She's amazing. She keeps me honest. Thank you. What would I do? Angelica, it's so much fun to have you here.
Gary, you just want to go to Hawaii.
I know.
Every week, go to Hawaii.
Every week. I got that. They're going to send me to Alaska instead.
Right. Now, one of the things that I just wanted to point out is that when we decided to go the entrepreneurial way, we wanted to differentiate between a job and a career. When a person has an ownership of something they are nurturing, they tend to be focused on it and not to want to go back to jail. If it is just a job, a fast food job or anything, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't take their attention. So what we are doing, we are also working with all kinds of professionals. We take a look at the mental, physical well-being, and we help them and we plan how they should get out of whatever situation they are in. And the career counseling, we're not just going to foist something onto them. We want to know what their interest is in. And then we bring them into the program, and then we make sure that we help them pursue that particular interest. So all it is that when you create a better person, that better person is going to go back again, is a trust bank. That better person is going to go back into their community, the community they left, and they're going to mentor other people to do different things. And that's why we believe that there is still room for a lot of these young men to do greater things than they've done before.
Fantastic.
I'm
Yeah.
with you, Clem. I am 100% with you. And I mean, as an entrepreneur myself, I mean, it is the way to know that you are always valued at your work, and the thing, and you are doing something or putting your efforts and your energy into something that you care about. When you are an entrepreneur, you're working for yourself, you're making your own hours, but that means that you have to grind, you have to hustle so that you can have a successful business. And in the great age of tech, we have technology all around us, and with the returning youth program, learning life skills, not just being able to maintain a household and know how to wash dishes and cook for yourself and all that other stuff. It's also development within technology and knowing how to use social media. And folks are doing it as entrepreneurs on social media, talking about whatever they know about, whatever their area of expertise is. You make a 15-second reel 3 times a day, and you are generating income for yourself. And you can start a legitimate business. It only takes less than $400 to start your LLC and register it with the Secretary of State office, whatever state that you're in. And so it is really attainable for individuals to really start that, have that entrepreneurial spirit and work at it and grind and push forward and inspire themselves and inspire others, and use social media as platforms so that they can branch out to additional communities outside of the one that they live in. And so I want to thank you, Sharon and Clem, for both being here and participating in this conversation. I want to shout out Eddie, who was on the call, who left earlier. I want to shout out attorney and our other Howard sister, Nachichi Taifa, for stopping by and talking about her amazing book and coming in and talking about the acts that she's working on and being the keynote speaker over at Jessup for their graduation ceremony. I want to thank everyone who came on the show today. I'm going to let Jerry close us out.
Who's Jerry? Jerry.
Jerry, forgive me. That was a mistake. Yes, names are important, y'all. Names are important. We must get them right.
I know we spent 10 minutes on a name this morning.
Please, let's take it away, Gary.
Hey, listen,
That's why that young lady's name is Nkechi Taifa.
Yes, thank you, Clem.
Nkechi Taifa.
I wanted to give an update because we had a very exciting show last week. We got 3 minutes left, but I wanted to give an update. We had Samantha Marie Diaz, who started a change.org form to get her school, which is the FPU, Fresno graduation, have it live, and it kind of went viral. Fox News picked it up, and then we had her on. Um, so we she now has 972 signatures. She's doing pretty well there. And you could please go to change.org at FPU graduation, sign up there. We would appreciate it and support her. And I know she's working with Raphael because Raphael is going to be doing something along the lines of a Google ads for her. So I asked her to join today, but she was unable to just give an update. So she texted me that information. By the way, we're always interested in what young people are doing, and we want to support young people. And it doesn't have to be directly involved with the post incarceration, but we will relate to it. So anyone that you know has a story, Angelica, Sharon, Clem, as you know, well, Clem is good at this. He knows he knows how to do this. Invite people on, and just have them. We'll come to tell their story. I was very excited about the guest we have today. I can't wait to get her back and really spend some time. Sharon, we had a show where we had three of your friends on. It went like lightning. And you know what? Four guests on a show is just too much. So we want to slow down and give these guests the time that they deserve. So we'd love to circle back with the guests that you had, Sharon. And we'd love to hear from them. You had some very significant people. We want to get into Georgia. As you know, Georgia's a state we haven't mentioned. So anything you want to add to that, Sharon? We have 1 minute left.
More HU alums, Angelica. We got to get them back. We'll circle back. I tagged them on the post because I have us live on some HU sites on Facebook right now, and I tagged them, so they may be watching, but we're gonna get them back. So I'll be talking to them, and we'll see when we can schedule. Maybe whenever we can get them back in the next couple of weeks.
Whatever is good for you, we'll work through you on that, of course.
Okay.
Angelica, you're very exciting. I want to give you, we got about 10 seconds. Thank you so much. You're such a valuable part of this. So are you, Sharon. Of course, so is Eddie. Clem and I are full-time, so we don't get any thanks. I'm only joking, but
thank you, Clem. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone who was on the show today.
I just love the energy you bring. I love the energy and Ketchy brought. I just love.
So do I. She is amazing. We got a gem with you. We're so happy to have you, Angelica. It's Sharon, of course. You too. Sharon works in the back. She that's what she tells me. I'm not saying that for her. She likes to work in the back, and she gets a lot done. Angelica, we're so excited to have you on and see you're taking more of a role in this, which we definitely want to happen. Please join us next week. Facebook.com, Khanna 4Kids. Khanna 4Kids, and go to us and search for us on YouTube at Khanna FOR Kids. You'll find us there, and then subscribe so we can get to and rename our own name. We're going through a whole reorganization in terms of our naming and our branding. We've hired an organization that's actually works directly with Tony Robbins, and that is going on right now. But we're going to hear more of that in the future. I want to say thank you all, and have a fantastic weekend. Bye, Angelica. Bye, Sharon, and bye, Clem.
Bye, everybody.